is gonna work because I never do this. We're gonna put you over here. I never do this. I'm like literally off from work. Let me angle you. I have to be up early in the morning, but I just wanted to recurl my hair. And I said, you know what? I was actually watching Shanetta's Divine Tarot. And I'm not kidding. Like, I just got this quick, like, Whitney, go live and talk about this. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm not even like a person that, like, this is literally just inspired action, I swear to God, because I don't normally do readings like this. And I guess I'm just trusting that whoever this finds is who this is meant to find. So let me just go ahead and dive into it while I'm curling my freaking hair. So Saturn is currently in Pisces, and it is going to be in Aries starting May 24th. Okay, why is this significant? It's significant because Saturn doesn't like to be in Pisces, okay? It has felt much like trying to swim through jello these past 3 years, okay, with Saturn and Pisces. While Saturn is the planet, it's the great teacher, right, in whatever house it's in. For Leos, it's been in your 8th house. Well, I'm a Leo, so talking about Leo, I can speak for my placements. It's been teaching you about your money. The 8th house is other people's money and how you make money and the importance of saving. It's moving into Aries on the 24th. This is a huge shift. Now, this is important because everything that has felt like it's taken so long to like move forward is largely because of Saturn in Pisces. Now, we've had a lot of retrogrades on top of that. We've had just retrogrades for the past like 5 fucking months. We had Mercury retrograde in November, December. Then we had Mars retrograde. Then we had Venus retrograde. Then Mercury retrograde again. And, you know, all of this fucking shit. And the Pluto shifting into Aquarius. Just so much. Just literally so much. Just so much. Hi, Bradley. So there's literally been so much planetary alignment keeping us from forward momentum. But now with Saturn and Aries, I was reading a few articles on this a few days ago. This is really about like being able to take calculated risks, because again, Saturn is the great teacher, but with it in the sign of Aries, Aries likes to do stuff. Aries likes to just act now, think later. But with Saturn, it's kind of like, oh, it's making you think a lot. You have that energy, you have that spark, but you're forced to think about it. So anyway, just got a random idea, intuitive hit to do some intuitive downloads for all the signs. Now, again, this is just a preview. Saturn doesn't officially move into Aries until 2026. So basically we have this summer to kind of preview the energy that we'll be experiencing in 2026. And then it's going to go back in Pisces in September 1st, September 2nd, Saturn. So I've been telling all my followers, don't say I didn't tell you, you need to get your shit together this summer, okay? Whatever goals you have, whatever you want to accomplish, you need to do it this summer, okay? You need to make sure you get your shit handled this summer, because when Saturn goes back in Pisces, we're going to be a little depressed again, okay? We're going to be a little sad. We're going to be a little confused. We're going to be a little anxious. We don't know what's going on, especially because we'll be moving from summer back into fall and into winter. So we'll be hot, kicking up the seasonal depression, right? So think about that. Sister, I'm from Pakistan. How are you? Hi, I'm good. How are you? Okay. So let's start with Aries. No cards because I'm literally just curling my hair. These are just intuitive downloads. Something about sisters coming through. Okay, that's interesting. What do you have for Aries spirit? You need to find your tribe, Aries, because I'm hearing sisters, I'm hearing sisterhood. this Saturn and Aries, tour, this like preview, you need to find your community. You need to find your people, Aries, because you may not have felt like you can really resonate or vibe with the people who have been around you. Hi, Ethan. You may not have felt like you've been around people who can understand you. It's time to focus this summer on finding your people that you really truly feel aligned with. Okay? Who's next? Taurus. Why am I getting relatives? Granny? Okay, grandmother. What do you mean by that, Spirit, when you say that? Legacy. Okay. Okay. You need to be thinking about your legacy. You need to be thinking about your legacy, Taurus, with the Saturn and Aries. Use this time and this energy to think about what is it that you want to leave behind for your kids. And you may not be old enough. I don't know how old you are, Taurus, watching this video. You may not be old enough to be like in the frame of mind to think about your legacy, but most of my followers are in their 30s, like late 20s, mid 30s, if not 40s. So you need to be thinking about your legacy. What else do you have to say for Taurus, for this Saturn and Aries? Taurus, you need to invest in a luxury item that can appreciate over time, that you can pass down to your legacy. I want you to think about artwork. I don't know why boat, like I got an image of a boat, even though that feels more like a money sucker, but I don't know. Who am I? I don't own a boat, so I don't really know. Something that can appreciate in value over time. I want you to be thinking about spending your money in ways that can be passed down. So legacy might be very important for you. Separate from material items, Taurus, I want you to be thinking about what values and changes you want to make within yourself, right? That you want to be ingrained in your legacy, right? All right, what do you have for Gemini, Spirit? What do you have for Gemini? I just heard tooth. Okay, that's interesting. Tooth. What do you have for Gemini for Saturn and Aries? Spread your wings. Okay. I'm getting a lot of things. I'm hearing a lot of things, but it's not quite making sense yet for Gemini. I'm hearing the song Fly Like an Eagle. Y'all know that song? Freedom. Freedom. I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey. I'ma keep on running cause the winner don't quit on themselves. Alright, so Gemini, freedom. Seeing a horse. Horses represent freedom. You need to redefine what freedom means to you this Saturn and Aries preview, okay? Because Aries doesn't Aries makes their own rules, okay? And you, as someone who's so inquisitive, you like to absorb information and just kind of see where the wind takes you. You need to redefine freedom for yourself. I think you, at this point, Gemini, at least for my followers, you have absorbed a lot of definitions of what freedom means, but now it's time for you to define that for yourself, okay? You need to be focusing on what freedom looks like to you. Does that mean freedom to travel? Does that mean freedom to spend? Does that mean freedom with your time? Does that mean freedom of relationships? Maybe are you seeking a polyamorous relationship? What does that mean to you at this time, Gemini? Freedom. Okay? It's interesting. Okay. Who's next? Cancer? This curl needs to be done over. Cancer. Now, my first thought went to family, but I'm not surprised. Cancer's always worried and concerned about family. What do you have for Cancer? This Saturn and Aries transit. Truth. I'm hearing truth. So what's interesting, Cancer, is what I'm getting is that you need to set the record straight. Okay. I'm hearing and feeling that people have assumptions about you, Cancer, that you've just allowed them to run with for a while. And Aries is bold. Aries is confident. Aries doesn't take no mess. Okay? So with us moving into this Aries energy, I feel like this is a season this summer where you need to redefine what is true, just in general. Again, I really think this has to do with more about not really for yourself, but how people perceive you. I really do. I think Cancer, you've just been letting people think you're a deadbeat dad. You've been letting people think you're broke, or I don't know. You've been letting people think you're rich, maybe on the opposite end of the spectrum, or you've been letting people think maybe that you're heterosexual and you're not. Maybe you're more fluid. You know, whatever your truth is, you've been letting people think that you really want a career in accounting when you really want to be a painter. You need to set the record straight, Cancer. Okay? You really do, is what I'm hearing and feeling. And that could be uncomfortable because, you know, that may, I don't want to say cause, but that may invite conflict by standing up for yourself and setting the record straight in some way. But, hi, how are you? But it feels like it's necessary. Okay, what do you have for Leo? This will be interesting. What do you have for Leo, Spirit? I'm hearing confidence, but again, not surprised. Leos love to be confident. Food, scraps. I'm just hearing a lot of random things right now. My pizza's done. I gotta go downstairs. What do you have for Leo? Splinter. I'm getting a lot of different words right now for Leo. What do you have for Leo? Leo, you're at a crossroads. You're at a crossroads, Leo. With me hearing the word splinter, you need to decide which life you want. Hi from Malaysia. Hello. You need to decide what life you want, Leo. You're at a crossroads. I need to take my pizza out the oven. You're at a crossroads, and you have the opportunity, the blessed opportunity, to decide what life you want. Here's Sasha. But you know, Leo, what I'm seeing is with this splinter, one road is shorter than the other. Now, as I'm saying this, I need you to discern for yourself. Because one road will give you short-term gratification or short-term success. Or I hate even to say that. One road has an end point, whereas the other has the opportunity to keep going and keep growing and go as far and long and wide as you want it to be. That's what I'm hearing. You gotta decide. And this really goes along with what I've said for you in your forecasts, of like this month being a major month for you of determining what it is that you freaking want in your life. Okay. Had to get an oven mitt. Okay, so that's pretty clear. You deciding your path. And once you decide your path, Leo, I think you're going to have a lot more peace. I think you're going to have a lot more peace. Hold on, I need to put this pizza on this plate.
I think you're going to have a lot more peace because right now I don't think you do. I don't think you have peace right now, Leo. I think you have fear, doubt, and worry. Okay, I'm going to let that cool down while I try to finish the other signs. Okay, that's off. All right, Virgo. I'm getting dessert, tiramisu. Okay. Pudding. Fluff. What are you trying to say for Virgo? I'm hearing remove the fluff, Virgo. I'm hearing remove the fluff. I'm hearing remove the fluff. Okay. You see, the thing is with Aries, again, with this Aries energy, Aries is a leader. Okay. They're cardinal sign. So they don't like to be worried about a lot of different things. So Virgo, for you, this Saturn and Aries, it's about removing the fluff. It's about removing that top layer that's unnecessary. Okay. Tell me I fucked up that curl. Removing the fluff this summer. And that could extend to a lot of different things. People, places, circumstances, jobs, obligations that just don't align with you anymore. Removing the fluff. And I say that because Aries can't focus on a lot. Aries cannot focus on a lot. They stress out. They can only focus on like a couple things. And when I say a couple, I literally mean a couple at like one time. So with this Saturn and Aries energy, you're going to be focused on removing the fluff from your life so you can focus on being impactful in a few areas rather than many. Okay? Okay. What do you have for Libra? Cheetos. I love how Spirit's talking to me in food. Okay. What is the connection with Cheetos? When I think of Cheetos, I think of the orange fingers. I think of the dirt. I think of the mess. I think of the stain. Ooh, now we're preaching. Now we're preaching. I think of the stain. Libra, you need to eliminate what it is that you feel has stained your life. This, because you know why? Saturn and Aries is, I don't want to say it's rebirth, but it's, in a way, it's a rebirth because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So it's infancy. There's something that is new within you. In the words of Cynthia Erivo, something has changed within me. Okay? So this Saturn and Aries, I'm seeing a Tide pen. It's not about removing the stain in a way of like pretending that what you went through wasn't real or invalidating your experience. It's about reminding yourself that you're capable of cleaning it up. Does that make sense? Because you know what happens after you eat a bag of Cheetos. You wash your hands and you're fine. You're good. You're good. You're just like, whatever, that was delicious, moving on. And specifically, I'm thinking of like the crunchy Cheetos, not the puffs, in case anybody was wondering. Yeah, I feel like I've said what I need to say about that. Who's next? Scorpio. What do you have for Scorpio, Spirit? What do you have for the Scorpios? Wallet. I'm hearing wallet. Okay. What do you have for Scorpio? An animal's trying to come through. A gerbil? That's interesting. Okay. I know nothing about gerbils. Some sort of like rodent. Okay, you're gonna have to give me something else. That's not my ministry, Spirit. What's the guidance for the Scorpios? Dear, be gentle is the message usually for dear. You know, Aries is Aries always gets a rap for being angry, hostile, aggressive, supercharged, right? Because they want what they want and they don't like having to wait for it. What is the message? I keep hearing Scorpio, bide your time. Bide your time. That's interesting. Bide your time. Like, okay, now Professor Snape is coming through. That's really interesting. I think Scorpio, the message is here. Remember how, for my Harry Potter friends, remember how the whole time during Harry Potter, and if you've never watched Harry Potter, I can't help you. Okay, I just, you need to watch the series. But through the entire series, we all fucking hated Snape. We all hated his ass. All of us. We were like, oh, he's so annoying. Why he just can't let Harry be great? But then it wasn't until pretty much the end of the series where we learned, oh my God, this motherfucker has been protecting him this entire time. And Scorpio might be like, well, what the fuck does that have to do with me? What that has to do with you is the fact that you have to wait for your moment to be revealed. Are you being tested with your patience? I think you're being called to manage your emotions a little bit better. Again, bide your time. Bide your time. Give Scorpio something else. Why do they need to do that? I just feel like Scorpio, you got to play a long game. There's a long game you need to play. And this Saturn and Aries is going to shift the energy for you, but not the assignment. That's what I'm picking up on. It's going to shift the energy, but not the assignment. So in short, keep doing what you've been doing. People might start to act different. You might start to feel different, but you cannot give in to how people treat you, respond to, well, not treat you. Always defend yourself, always speak up for yourself. But yeah, stay locked in because bide your time. Especially because with the Saturn and Aries, we're not going to be in this energy forever. So this summer is going to be cute, but people are going to switch up to their old ways back when we get back to September. Okay, so I feel like I need you to bide your time. I don't know how that connects yet, but that's what I have, Scorpio. That's what's coming through. Okay, what's coming through for, who's next? Sagittarius. I'm hearing Beyonce, or Destiny's Child rather. Ain't no feeling like being free when your mind's made up and your heart's in the right place, yeah. Ain't no feeling like being free. I'm like an eagle set free, and finally I'm looking out for me. No, ain't easy being left out or being forgotten about. Didn't deserve my love. I've had enough, set me free. I don't know how that resonates. If you don't know that song, Sagittarius, look it up. It's called Free by Destiny's Child. The lyrics might be important to you. Removing all limitations. Sagittarius, you're no breaks. This summer is no breaks for you. Wow, that's crazy. This is a no breaks summer for you. Like you are full speed ahead, You are feeling no longer weighed down by obstacles, by naysayers, by, you know what? It's because like you're honestly, Sagittarius, like so unapologetically in your vibe, in your essence, in your alignment, in your truth, that you could just give a fuck what people have to say right now. Truthfully. And I think that's really powerful for you right now. What else for Sagittarius? I'm seeing a pig. Pigs for me represent think clearly, use your mind wisely. Pig spirit, use your mind wisely. So even though this is a no breaks summer, Sagittarius, you need to be smart and again calculated risks, right? With Sagittarius and Aries, calculated risks, okay? Calculated risks. Don't be impulsive. You've worked really hard to get to this point. Don't blow it all away off a stupid impulsive decision. And you really need to think about before you run that red light, if that makes sense, this summer. You think, oh, this won't be a big deal. It won't impact a lot of people. Think again. Think again, my love. Yeah, that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Okay, who's next? Capricorn. What do you have for Capricorn? I'm hearing Beyonce. This ain't Texas. Ain't no hold 'em. So lay your car round. I can't go that low. What do you have for the Capricorns? I think when I think of Texas Hold'em, I think of line dancing. I think of get in line. I think of order. I think of organized chaos. I think of happiness, joy as well. What do you have for Capricorn this Saturn and Aries transit? I'm seeing Timon and Pumbaa. I don't know why. Lion King. Hakuna Matata, baby. It means no worries for the rest of your days. You know why, Capricorn? It's because, okay, I'm gonna be so for real. You need a free summer. That's what it is. You need a free summer because the Saturn and Aries energy, Capricorn, is going to make everybody want to do their own thing. Like everybody's going to be so distracted by what they want to do that you'll actually have a chance to not worry about anybody. So while you have a chance to not worry about anybody, you got to worry about yourself. You know what I mean? Like this is your opportunity to actually like get your shit together while everybody else is distracted before everybody else needs you again back in the fall. Once we get to the fall. Does that make sense? That's what I'm picking up. Anything else for Capricorn? I feel like something about candy canes is trying to come through. I have no idea what that message is. Maybe Capricorn, I need you to prepare in advance for Christmas. Maybe. Yeah. I want you to put a little money away. I've always wanted to do this personally, but I never really. Our words are powerful. One day I will. To be able to prepare for the holidays in advance, like you buying all the gifts in advance, and you're planning all the trips and the hotel and whatever, like all the miscellaneous things you might need to spend money on. I think you need to prepare for winter while everyone else is distracted, so that when everybody kind of comes back down to reality, once Saturn comes back in Pisces, you're like, great, I'm already prepared. You know what I mean? You know, I feel like you need to be the one that's ahead of everybody else. Everybody else is like, oh, just like relax and like, come on, come out and enjoy the sun, Capricorn. And you're like, okay, I'll be there. But really, you're just like preparing. I feel like somebody's got to be responsible here. Also, because you're ruled by Saturn. So I think this will be a fun, it's going to be a interesting energy because you're not used to it with Saturn being in Aries in such a carefree sign. So even though you're gonna feel a little like excited of like, I hate to even say excited, even though you're gonna feel a little carefree, you're still gonna feel the need to be responsible and try to bring some order to the chaos. Does that make sense? Like everybody's enjoying the summer, but you already bought the school supplies for the kids for next year, right? Like you don't want to be worried about that shit July 31st or whenever kids go back to school these days. Okay, let's move on to Aquarius. I'm getting something about breakdancing. Okay. Something about breakdancing. Okay. I'm getting, what was that movie, y'all? Remember? There was a movie about breakdancing a long time ago. Oh my God. It's something called Break Something. Alexa, what's that famous movie about breakdancing?
From theadadvocate.org. The 1984 film Breakin' is more than just an entertaining dance movie. It is a cultural phenomenon.
Stop. Breakin'. Okay, stop. I haven't seen that movie in a really long time, but that's what's coming through. You know why? Because I haven't seen that movie in a really long time, but from what I remember of the movie Aquarius, it was more than a coming of age story because I'm thinking about him in the like barbershop and he was sweeping. It was very much like a I don't want to say it was a rags to riches story, but it was like very much a like rising above your circumstances movie. You know what I mean? And like being rising above adversity as well. And I think this is your glow up moment, Aquarius, this summer. I think you're finally being recognized. People are finally seeing your talent. People are finally like noticing you. I haven't thought about that movie in years. That is so interesting. And that's just how this works, y'all. I'm just trying to stay connected, just trying to see what comes through. Breaking. Y'all watch that movie if you never had. I'm sure it's on YouTube or somewhere. I'm sure. And being comfortable with your talent as well, being comfortable with being in the spotlight, being comfortable with people knowing you for what you're good at, for what you're gifted in. You know, that message is coming through as well. Okay. Yeah, I want you to shine this summer, Aquarius. Just get comfortable with being in the spotlight this summer, please. Okay? All right. Who else? Pisces. Okay, here we go. Pisces, what do you have? naturally I'm seeing water, but let's just flow. Let's see where Spirit's trying to take me. I'm seeing a bird, a seagull. Okay. Ooh, you know what? Because you gotta get scrappy, Pisces. You gotta get scrappy. Y'all ever been on the beach and with some seagulls? Let me tell you, seagulls will be up in your face talking about you gonna give me that chipper? What? The seagulls are the pigeons of the bird of the beach. The seagulls are the pigeons of the beach. Okay, they have no shame about asking you for a piece of what you got. And I think that's the energy that that Spirit's trying to give me, that this summer you need to go ahead and claim what's yours, because I think Pisces, you're so used to kind of being in an energy of like, oh, I just wait till it feels right. I wait till I'm aligned, which I'm not mad at, you know, that is your natural state. I like that for you. But with this energy in Aries, you're going to feel an energy of like, oh, no, you know what? I'm going to have to take that. Actually, that's mine. You know, remember that movie from Finding Nemo? Mine. Remember in Finding Nemo? That's the energy for you this summer, Pisces. You need to don't play the background. You need to speak the fuck up about, oh, no, sorry, actually, that's for me. Actually, you see that reserve sign on the table? That's actually from me and my party, thank you. I need you to come forward from the background a little bit this summer. I need you to enter the chat, enter the conversation. Okay? Anything else for Pisces? No more breadcrumbs. If somebody tries to give you breadcrumbs, look at them and be like, where's the rest? Don't let people nickel and dime you anymore. So if you be like, oh, and you get a breadcrumb, you be like, where's the rest? Don't be like, oh, I guess this is okay. I guess I'll take that. We're no longer taking what we can get, Pisces. Absolutely not. That's what I'm getting. You need to be kind of aggressive about claiming what's yours this summer. Okay? Okay? Yeah. So I've never done that before. Just kind of giving intuitive downloads. I hope that was interesting and helpful. I know it's kind of very early to see how this energy is going to play out. I don't know. This was just kind of spur of the moment, what I felt like posting. So maybe I'll add timestamps later. But drop a comment for sure if it was helpful. I'm normally always, using my cards to interpret, but she is an intuitive. So I hope this was helpful. Love you so much. Have a good night. How do I end this?